guys, it's Melissa. Happy Monday. I missed you last week. But today I am back with a beginner level Silhouette Cameo 4 and sketch pen tutorial. Okay, so we are going to get to the bottom of how to use sketch pens in your Silhouette Cameo. So you don't have to be intimidated by it. You don't need to be worried about it. You don't need to any longer wonder why you might want to use it. We're going to go over all of that. So what we are going to do is make a simple card. Hopefully you can you see that? And what we have here, one of the reasons that you may want to use sketch pens in your Silhouette machine as opposed to just printing is, are you able to print metallic? I'm not. So one of the ways that I like to put metallic accents on my designs or on my projects is by using sketch pens. So this one, I'm going to use a silver sketch pen and show you how to do this. So what's awesome about this, I don't know why you can't see that very well. What's awesome about this is that you can get single line designs, and I'm going to tell you exactly where to get them. I threw a link up there. These single line designs are awesome. They draw like you would write. Okay, so a single line, they're specifically for sketch pens, for foil quill. We have a whole bundle on So Fontsy that I threw the link for up top. It's an extra 15% off today and tomorrow. The code is up top as well. Now the benefit to these is that as opposed to a cut file, where a cut file you would get the like the outline, because that's how the blade has to cut in order to make like a decal. With a sketch pen, a single line sketch pen design, what you're getting is literally just a single line. If you tried to cut it, you would just get a splice in your vinyl or heat transfer. So you don't want to use them that way, but you do want to use them with your sketch pens. So you set it up in Silhouette Studio the same way you would any other type of design, okay? I did put a link up top to a tutorial on how to set this up in Silhouette Studio, and we're gonna pick up from there, okay? So what you need, you can use sketch pens in all of the Silhouette machines. So in the Cameo 1, 2, 3, 4, portraits 1, 2, and 3, even the Curio, you can use the sketch pens. Now with the Cameo 4, these black bodied sketch pens are ideal because they have an extra little ridge on them, but you will need to still use them with the blue adapter, which should come with your Cameo 4. I don't think they're coming with the, well, maybe they are. Are they coming with the Pro and the Plus? I can't off the top of my head. But you will need these if you're using sketch pens in any of the Cameo 4 machines. If you are using an older machine, a Cameo 3 or any of the older machines, you can just pop the sketch pen right into the tool carriage. But with the Cameo 4 machines, you do need to use a sketch pen adapter. Okay, so you're just going to open the adapter. It also has a little ridge. That's where this goes in, and then you snap it closed. Okay, so did you know that all of the tools for the Cameo 4 tell you what tool carriage they belong in? So this has a 1 on it, which means it goes on in carriage 1, which is the left tool carriage over here. Okay, also indicated by a 1. So we're just going to pop that in there, and then in the Silhouette Studio Send panel, I have it selected as sketch as opposed to cut. Okay, and the adapter has a little sensor on the back, so it's going to know that I'm using the sketch pen, and it's updated to make my action sketch and my tool pen. Now, I think the paper that you pick is really important, okay? So this is my favorite type of paper. I've talked about it a lot. It's the American Crafts Precision cardstock. One side is textured. The other side is smooth, okay? So when you're sketching, I would highly suggest that you use the smooth side so that your pen can easily roll across and you're not getting skipping areas in the on the textured side, okay? So what we're gonna do is you need to make sure that you have a good solid stick on your cutting mat. So what I like to do is, I'm gonna pull you down. I'm using a different tripod here today, so I don't know, hopefully you can see what's going on here. Might just need to move you back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my cardstock, again, textured side, smooth side. I'm gonna put the textured side down, okay? And I like, because cardstock is kind of heavier, I always use a brayer, and I just roll it over my cardstock over the mat so that I get a good solid stick and it's not moving around while I'm trying to sketch, okay? I linked to the Brayer too. This is one of my must-haves in your craft room. All right, so now I just load this in. Left edge of the mat lined up with the gray line on my Cameo 4. And now I just go to Silhouette Studio and I press send and it's going to begin the sketching process. Now keep in mind that this is going to sketch exactly where it would cut, okay? So it's drawing instead of cutting. See if I can, again, I don't know if I can move you so you can see this well enough. So instead of having the blade in there where it would go around and be cutting, it's drawing, all right? You'll be able to see it here in a minute as it starts to go. Okay, so that's the benefit of having specific designs that are set up for sketching. They already are the single line as opposed to having the outline. So if you didn't want your letters to look like they're outlined, but instead you want them to look like they are handwritten, you can use this. So those of you joining now, if you there's a link that I posted for you that includes where these designs are from. These are specific sketch designs. They can also be used for the foil quill. And here's a little trick: if you want to pull double duty on them, put an offset around them, and then you can use the same design as a cut file as well. So you can do that. I also like to use them instead of having it cut. I change the line style to rhinestones, and you can use them to create rhinestone templates as well. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with single line designs. Don't think it's only for sketching. There's more you can do, and I have tutorials on all of that, of course. So while this is sketching, now I should tell you that the design that this came from was just said, "You are a gem." I ungrouped it and took that little gemstone design and pasted it all over my work area so that I would get gems all over my card. Okay, so it's cutting just like this. I'm just doing another one. And after it's done sketching, even though this is a beginner tutorial on just how to sketch, what I'm going to do is go back into Silhouette Studio. I'm going to tell it now, I'm going to turn off the cut lines for the "You are a gem" and all the little gems. I'm going to turn those off. I'm going to tell it that I just want it to cut the outline of the card and the little perforated line down the middle, and I'm going to swap my tool from the pen to my blade. Okay, this is the 1mm manual blade. It's a replacement blade for, not a replacement, it's an alternative blade for the auto blade or the ratchet blade with an adapter. So this does not need an adapter. It goes directly in all the Cameo 4 machines along with the Portrait 3, and you don't need an adapter. And for those of you who are going to ask, this does not work in any of the non-Cameo 4 or Portrait 3 machines. Okay, if you're using one of those machines, you've got your own premium blade that's manually adjustable. This is a flat back blade, okay? I like it because I have a little bit more control over setting the blade depth as opposed to relying on that tapping, which I think by now most of us know that is not always reliable. All right, so once this is done sketching, I'm not going to pull the design out, okay? I'm gonna leave it in the machine so that way it stays lined up for when I want to cut. Now, one thing that you need to keep in mind, if you're not planning on cutting anything, then fine, you're done. But if you want to sketch, then cut, this is what you have to do. The reason that you have to do this in 2 steps this way is because the tool carriage on the Cameo 4, the right side tool carriage on the Cameo 4 cannot take a regular blade or a pen. And so you have to do it in 2 steps as opposed to the Cameo 3 or the Cameo 2, which you can put 2 different blades in each carriage, and then that way it just does it all in one pass. This machine, that's one of the downfalls. You cannot do that because that tool carriage, the right side tool carriage, was replaced with a different type of system motor and gears. It has the high force. You can't use a regular blade in there. All right, so my cutting is now done. All right, so I'm gonna leave this just like this. I'm gonna swap out my blade. All right, so I'm gonna place this blade in here. And now in Silhouette Studio, I'm just turning off. I apologize, I have my back to you, and I know you can't see this, but I'm going to just tell it that I don't want it to cut the gems themselves. I only want my card shape to to be cut. I'm telling it that I want it to cut. It detects that I have my auto blade in there. It's telling me that I should put my blade on a blade of, oops, 4, actually 5. Okay, I'm going to stick that back in there, and it's going to detect it. It has a force of 33, a speed of 4, 2 passes, and now I'm going to send it to cut. So now this time it's just going to cut my the shape of the card. Okay, so that's where we're going to get the card. It's so important not to take that mat and material out of there in between though. Okay, that's how this is going to make sure it's all aligned. All right. Now the cut settings that I'm using, I have a custom cut setting for what I call textured cardstock American Crafts, which is the paper that I'm using. For cutting, blade depth 5, force of 33, 2 passes, and speed 4. You could do its faster speed because it's just, you know, it's so slow right now. Okay, what is it doing? It's doing the perforated line. If you would rather have a score line there, you can do that as well. Did you know that there's a setting for cut, sketch, and score? Okay, so score is a different setting. It still uses the same blade. It just doesn't put as much force, and it just like, it's almost like equivalent of a kiss cut, okay? So it's only gonna go through like the top layer of the paper and score it enough that you can fold, just like you would make a regular score line, okay? All right, so once this is done, I'm gonna make sure that my paper can pop off of there real quick, and then now I can see that my paper has cut through, and I'm ready that I can take this out of here. Okay, so here's it's hard to see here, okay? Now I can just pop this off of here, and I'm gonna fold it in half. That's where I have that score line, and now I have my little card, okay? So this is a really great beginner level project. I apologize, this lighting is weird today that it's making it difficult for you to see. You are a gem. See, cool, right? So I use the silver metallic, sketch pen, which again, if you're asking, why would you not just print that on your printer? I don't have silver metallic ink on my printer. So that's why I am using the sketch pens, all right? Yeah, so, all right, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you're interested, I put all of the links for all of the products, the Cameo for the Brayer, the paper, even the design, that design bundle, as I said, is a sketch and foil quill bundle available it's a limited time bundle. The code itself is today, tomorrow, and I think Wednesday. And then what else did you need? Sketch pen, paper, Brayer, Cameo 4. All the links are up top for you, all right? All right, you guys, I'll go through and answer any questions you have. It's just a little difficult to respond to the comments while I'm trying to do this at the same time. See you guys.